What the fuck's going on, guys? Welcome back to fire fucking story time. Did I scare you? My bad. I'm happy to be here. I hope you guys are happy to be here as well. Before we get into the story and play some B-roll while I tell said story, I want to hash a couple things out real quick. One, I'm actually fucking butt-fuck sober. For about a little over 3 weeks now. No alcohol, no weed, no Xanax, no cocaine. Those are my four main ones. No fentanyl or crystal meth. Yeah. I didn't know I was doing those either, alright? I'm just saying, drugs are faker than fake if you're buying them off the street. And I thought I was better than that, but here we are. Long story short, I had been admitted into a behavioral health center. I got a couple drug charges on the way. And fentanyl was the main drug that they found in my urine. They said it was more dominant than benzodiazepine, which that's what I thought I was taking. It's kind of yikes, right? So I just wanted to say thank you guys for supporting me, and thank you to everybody who comments on my shit. I see the same people who comment on my shit, and I hope you know you mean a lot more to me than you probably ever even know. And I want you to know that you can get up out this struggle too. Drug addiction is a trap. I just made a 32-minute long video. I'll go ahead and link it in the description. It's on my main channel, Alec Lopez. I haven't posted on there in 2 years. However, I figured it was worth a post on there. There's no B-roll. I just sit down and talk about what led me to my rock bottom. But I didn't tell the details. I didn't tell the story of that rock bottom. Today, I'm going to do that. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you learned something. But also, I just wanted to say this real quick. You don't need to hit your rock bottom to quit drug addiction. I know a lot of you were abusing those drugs, such as I was, or still are. You are not just a drug addict. You are far more than that. You're a human with a lot of goals, aspirations, a lot of love to give, things you like, things you don't, etc., etc. You are just a person struggling with drug abuse, and you haven't figured out how to stop abusing said drugs yet. Okay? I'm here for you, just like you guys were here for me. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody whoever has watched these videos. Stop being depressing, and let's get the fuck right into it. Let's do it. Still clearing up all that phlegm and access bullshit that I had in my lungs. But let's get the fuck right into it. Like I said, I'm about 3 weeks sober. This story takes place April 12th of 2026. January, February, March, April, May. So it's May 2nd, right? This takes place on April 12th. Now, to start off the day, it's a Sunday. I remember the day perfectly because my girlfriend had the day off. She works a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And she's kind of got that schedule where she still wakes up pretty early. And I also had just kind of been waking up early. It's just kind of what I was doing because I wanted to be with her. I wanted to be on the same schedule as her, more or less, you know. And during this day, or this morning, I do my usual. I pop some Xans, snort some coke, smoke some weed, and before 12, I'm definitely already drinking. I always bought those fucking boxes of those Budweisers, you know, those aluminum cans that are like 16 ounces, because they're butt-fuck cheap. And I was butt-fuck cheap. I wasn't broke. I was making $40 to $50 an hour because I was serving at a nice restaurant. So it's not like I had a hard time supporting these drug habits. I paid rent on time, and I supported these fucking horrible drug habits, right? It got really bad really fast towards the last few months of my drug abuse. And this day is a prime example of that. Because before 12, around 1 or 2, after 12, I'd already ingested all the drugs I wanted. You know, I had these Green Hulk Xanax bars from my trusted plug, whatever that means. Because me and the homie Matthew had tested these yellow, he called them pressies, these yellow pressies from him a few months ago when I first found him as a plug. and they didn't come back with fentanyl. But my dumbass kept buying from him, and he changed dealers. He would tell me, yo, I changed dealers. Yo, they're different. Just to let you know. He was just honest about it. He said, yeah, they're from a different guy. My dumbass still didn't test them again. Thinking, oh, I can trust him. I can definitely trust him. Yeah, that was an awful decision. Cocaine has always been my drug of choice. And then all of a sudden, these last few months, I can't stop popping those green fucking Xanax. Half Xanax. Maybe a fourth of Xanax. There was fentanyl in that shit. And then now that makes sense as to why I would forget full-on conversations from a couple of hours ago. Full-on days. I remember while I was in the little rehab stint, I asked my girlfriend, hey, so did you ever get your AC fixed on the phone? Alec, you were with me. You actually helped me get it fixed. I was. I was physically there, but I wasn't there. And this was kind of just how I lived my life the last few months. And that was a hard way to live. And it filled me with this just fucking insane amount of shame. This insane amount of guilt. And then I got angry. Not at anybody, not at the world, not at God, not at my girlfriend. I got angry at myself, just so internally angry towards myself because I knew I was smarter than that. I knew what I was doing. Not to throw my brother under the bus, he struggled with a 2-year gambling addiction. Except he was gambling money. I was gambling long before he ever started that. I started gambling my fucking life away. And that's, like I said, no way to live. So, back to the story. Around 2 p.m., I overdose. You know, I throw up and I nod off. I don't really remember this entire day. I only remember the night, but I'll get into it. My girlfriend and my mother have told me about this day. My girlfriend especially. Oh, sorry. She has gone over this a couple times with me because she knows I tell these stories and stuff, and I've asked her, like, yo, so what the fuck actually happened? Because I also needed to know what happened in order to understand, and in order to really be able to apologize. I can't apologize for something that I don't understand what I'm apologizing for. But I knew an apology was needed, but I didn't know why yet. You know, to fast forward, I have since apologized truly, and I know she's forgiven me. Took me a little bit to forgive myself, right? These few weeks, to be honest with you. Because like I said, I overdosed in the middle of the afternoon. And I'm on the fucking floor of her bathroom and she walks in. This is all from her point of view, by the way. She walks in and sees me half laying over the toilet, half on the bathtub. Just give out. She saw my body just go limp, she said when she walked in. And Alec slaps me in the face. Alec! She's slapping me. And she says she was hitting me hard. Not a sign of life, she said. She said, Alec, I'm gonna call. You're fucking scaring me. She's like, please wake up. That is so fucking not fair to do to somebody else that I love. And somebody else who loves me. God, that was not fair. And so I'm ODing at this point, right? She said I threw up a little bit, but after I threw up, I just completely nodded off, and she said she heard a thump on the floor, and that's when she ran in, and I was just completely fucking limp. Slaps me, can't get up, so she calls the ambulance. Apparently, ambulance has to carry me out, put me on a stretcher, and they're like reviving me on the way to the hospital with fucking probably UV or whatever the fuck the hospital does to revive somebody going through this, right? Shit, probably some Narcan at that point. And so she follows this ambulance to the hospital, right? She says by the time she got to the hospital that I was being brought to, she sees me wandering around the parking lot. Where's my wallet? Is how she says I sounded. And apparently I had lost my wallet and my phone. Long story short, I left them in the hospital room that they just discharged me from. And she's pissed. She's saying, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing out here? What? Well, I lost my wallet. Say, what the fuck are you doing out here? Why? Who discharged you? And she runs into the hospital, she says. And she throws a fucking tantrum. Saying, who the fuck discharged this guy? Who discharged him? Who discharged him? The nurse is actually still kind of by the door, kind of following me. And she's like, I did. His vitals were good. Oh my fucking God, dude. Are you fucking serious? I'm clearly not there. And I'm clearly out of it. Hospitals fucking suck. There's another time, another story for another day, where I drank like 7 beers of the 16-ounce Budweisers that I'm talking about, but I also took pills of Xanax, which that is a fucking risky thing to do. I got alcohol poisoning, probably a little bit of fucking benzo poisoning, whatever the fuck it was, and all they did was make fun of me. You just drank alcohol? Yeah. Obviously, I'm not telling them about the fucking benzos, and this nurse laughs at me, and he has a hard time finding my veiny ass arm, finding a vein. My veins are the most dominant veins I've ever seen. Like, you have so many options to fucking pluck something in there. And they didn't test my urine. They didn't test my blood because my insurance was canceled that day. And I found out that day. And once they find out I don't have insurance, they actually cut the IV short and sent me on my way. America is the wild, wild west, man, is all I'm going to say. I spent the night in jail. That shit was fucking crazy. All I'm saying is I've seen movies and shit in the UK that try and depict this. They take care of their prisoners and inmates and shit. Fucking America's the Wild West, dude. And I'm in Arizona. Arizona's the wild, wild, wild west of America. At least in my opinion, alright? Anyways, back to the story. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? And at this point, she had contacted my mother. And my mother's there as well. From what my mom said, I'm picking up this rock, this giant rock, but I can't get the strength to pick it up. And then I'm cussing them out. I'm bar raging around the parking lot trying to find my shit. And then the nurse comes out with my wallet and my phone. Oh, by the way, you left this shit in here. Have a good one. It's practically how it went. And I'm, like I said, overdosing. I consider that an overdose. I mean, I nodded off and had to be revived back, and I'm still overdosing pretty much. Fast forward like 5 hours later to like 7, 8, 9 p.m. I still don't remember any of this from my point of view, but apparently I kept doing more drugs. I was snorting coke still. I still had another beer, and I took 2 more pills, which, like I said, I now know were fake with fentanyl. I'm really lucky to be here. I have a really strong heart. Like, I have a resting heart rate of like 50. And a lot of times doctors are pretty fucking worried by that until I tell them that I'm a runner. And they're like, oh, okay, that's fine. You have a strong heart. I truly believe that if I didn't take care of my body before this drug addiction, I probably would have dropped dead because of how weak I made my body towards the end of this drug addiction, right? Just taking Xanax and alcohol is already a dangerous game to be playing. And I was taking fake Xanax and drinking alcohol and doing coke and smoking weed. So, like I said, towards the end of the night, I did more. And apparently I overdosed again. She said I nodded off, dropped. She said I started walking and I like practically fainted onto the bed face first. And she said like, Alec, like she got really scared because she said she's never seen my body just drop like that, right? And so she calls the cops because I start to kind of come back to and I wake up for a second. And this is when she says the words, Alec, I think you need to leave. I can't do this anymore. I love you, but I don't love this. I want my Alec back. Come back when you're Alec. That really, really pissed me off. Because I said, how the fuck are you going to tell me to leave? How the fuck are you going to have me leave my own house? I pay rent here just as much as you do. I live here too. All my shit is here. Fuck you. And then I rage out. But then I kind of don't leave the front door. I come back in. And she's like, Alec, dude, what the fuck is happening? Now that I have processed all of this, I understand what she meant. She was afraid. She was afraid of the unknown, afraid of what I would do, afraid of what I would do to myself, afraid if I would die, afraid if I wouldn't wake up the next morning when she did. that's no way to live for her either. And apparently, like I said, I was just super fucking angry at this. And like I mentioned earlier, rock bottom. I'm sure a lot of you view rock bottom for a drug addict as being homeless, walking around and digging a fucking in a trash and stabbing a needle through their ass even though they don't know what the fuck is in it. Which I'm sure that could be rock bottom for some of you. But I've kind of learned that rock bottom is crossing your boundaries or lines morally or ethically. Right? I believe that's what rock bottom is crossing your boundaries as a human being. Destroying your own morals. Because I'm now trying to be in the room alone. I'm saying, you sleep in the living room, I'm sleeping in here. It's like, Alec, I can't leave you alone. From what she was also saying, she said that she just didn't want to leave me alone because she was so afraid I was going to drop dead. She was like, actually, you're right, stay here. Stay here. Because I was also pretty suicidal at the time, if I'm going to be honest. And she was like, dude, I can't leave you alone. Like, clearly I was suicidal because, like I said, I was gambling my life away, and I knew that in the back of my little mind, and I knew those pills were fake, and I'd still just look at them, observe them, boop, right down the hatch, right? And I regret it. I would take all of it back if I could. But like I said, we're now at the edge of the room, and I give her a shove. I don't even want to say a push from the way she's explained it over and over. First, I started saying, I pushed you, and she's like, no, you didn't push me. So I didn't hit my head, I didn't knock into anything. You pretty much shoved me just to get me out of the room so you can close the door really quick. She's like, I didn't go far at all. You gave yourself enough time to slam the door shut before I can stop it. And she's like, I almost could have stopped it, but I thought you were going to jam my fingers in the door. And as soon as I shove her, the roommate comes over and is threatening with the taser, but I'm closing the door already. The roommate wasn't going to tase me. She was just threatening me. And I remember saying to the door, who the fuck do you think you are? This is where I have faint memories of the night now. I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are, bitch? Fuck you doing? I grab that taser and tase you. And like, apparently she got really scared when I started talking like that, which I would be too. But I locked myself in our room, me and my girlfriend's room. And now my girlfriend and our roommate are in the living room, banging on the door. Alec, please open the door. What are you doing? Alec, please open the door. I run inside of that room, and I'm crying now. I can't believe, I remember the feeling of guilt stronger than ever. I can't believe I just laid my hands on her. I can't believe I just shoved her. I can't believe I just pushed her is how I was thinking. I pushed my girlfriend. Literally. That's what I did. And I already couldn't live with it seconds after. So I ran in there and I knew where I hid a knife. My girlfriend had already hid all these knives, apparently. But I hid one myself in that room, and I go in there and I grab the knife, which is very dull. It is not a sharp knife at all. I have scars on my wrist, and I'm sure you know what happened from there. I'm slicing. There's a lot of different cuts on my wrist because the knife was so dull I couldn't get it to go through, so I just kept trying to get it in a different spot. And I'm going as hard as I can, and there's blood everywhere gushing down my arm and dripping down my wrist, and then now there's blood all over that knife, but I couldn't get a deep enough cut to hit a vein or anything, and I knew that. It was irritating me, but it hurt. Even through all those drugs, I remember the pain. I remember how bad that hurt, but what I don't remember is letting out yells, because apparently my girlfriend says, like, Alec, like, because I start screaming, like, ow, you know, like I'm yelling, like, oh, fuck, that hurts, but I keep going, right? Eventually, they get that door busted down, and as they get that door busted down, I start coming out, and I hear policemen, put your hands up. I don't remember anything really about this, but what my girlfriend says that they came in with guns pointed at me, and she's like, you don't need to do that, and my girlfriend says that she stood right in front of me and says, please put the guns down, he'll cooperate, because I'm standing there afraid now, is what she said, and she's like, please, you don't need guns, like, it's just precaution, man, please step out of the way. And I put my hands up from what she said, and I walk over, and they cuff me. And I have a faint memory of hearing my girlfriend say, "Hey, why are you cuffing him? Like, you're cuffing him?" Like, she was sad. They broke her heart watching all this, and apparently these cops separated us. I'm in the living room. She's outside on the balcony now. One cop with her, one cop with me. And then the only other memory I have is the cop saying, "Do you need anything from that room? We'll give you 10 seconds without us going in." I say, "Are you serious?" And they're like, "Yeah." I walk in and grab my wallet because I need my ID. Then they're like, "You need your ID," is what they also mentioned. Like, "Go get your ID." It's in my wallet. They say, "All right, if you go walk in that room, are you going to come back out with a weapon?" And I said, "No, I just need my wallet. My ID's in it." "Okay, go. We'll give you 10 seconds. If you take any longer, we're coming in." That took like 2 seconds because I knew exactly where the wallet was. Grabbed the wallet, put it in my pocket. And then I go back to the living room. And I'm still cuffed during this, right? But as I walk into that room, I look on the dresser and I remember seeing my cocaine plate. I'm just like, fuck. And then I remember seeing my jar of pills. Fuck. Walk back to the living room, just the wallet, and they escort me out to a police car. I remember being in that police car for a long time, but on the way to that police car, they say, "Do you need us to get into your wallet?" "Actually, let us search your wallet." From what my girlfriend has explained, she says, "Oh, by the way, did he get his wallet? I don't know if there's anything in there." She was giving them all the evidence, which she said she was just tired of having all those drugs in her house. She gave the police my pills. She gave them the plate and said, "Is this evidence?" So, "Yeah, we'll take that as well." And they're like, "Are you okay if we search your house?" She says, "Yeah." But because she was so compliant and so cooperative, they didn't search the house. They believed her when she said, "I think that's everything that I gave you." And it was. But I was frustrated at first when I heard all this a few days later in my psych ward. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, you set me up. She's like, "Dude, Alec, I promise you, they were going to fucking search that house whether I wanted them to or not. So I had to just be compliant. They were going to find what they wanted to find, right?" Which I believe too. I mean, it's what it would have been, right? And because she mentioned the wallet to one of the cops, the cop that was walking me to the car all of a sudden says, "Can I see your wallet?" I remember so abrupt, like, "Huh?" "Yeah." Like, "All right, let me open it up." My wallet is kind of a bigger leather wallet, and it has like this button pocket in the front, right? That you can clip it and put stuff in there. Pills is all I ever put in there in my cocaine bag. Sure, shit. He pulls out my little baggie of coke. I think there was like a gram and a half in there. "What's this?" My eyes widen. "Oh, that's where my laundry detergent went." He smiles. He's like, "All right, get on in." And he shoves me in the police car. And I remember sitting in there forever. My girlfriend says that she even remembers me staying in there forever. She's like, "Is he still in one of those cars?" And the police lady is like, "Yep, he's in there right now." And it was while they were searching the house, and she was giving them all the drugs and yada, yada, yada. Next thing I remember are these two men who get in the car, two policemen who get in the car. They drive me on over to what I now know is called UPC. It's like an urgent something care. It's to detox you it's like a 24 to 48 hour hold at most to get you to your next place, like rehab, or where I went, a behavioral health center. This UPC place, I have stories that are for this on their own. We slept in recliner chairs, and the first second I walked in, I saw somebody get punched in the face, drop to the floor. So it was a terrifying place. However, oh fuck, dude, I'm sorry. I apologize. My memory got a little jogged there. I did not get taken straight to UPC. I got taken to county jail that night, and I spent that night in jail, which is also another story for another time. However, on the way to jail, I asked, "Are you guys gonna give that to anybody in here?" And they're like, "What, you don't think your laundry story is gonna hold up?" Well, I mean, I don't know if it's laundry detergent. I mean, could also be like fabric softener or something. And they actually let out a laugh. They were like, okay, like, dude, shut the fuck up, pretty much is how they were probably thinking. They just laughed and didn't say a word. But yeah, then I got brought to jail. I got patted down. I got thrown into this cell with this dude resting on his head on the toilet. His head was resting on the fucking toilet. And they say, there's a toilet if you need, go on in. But with the guy resting on him, there's no sink. Oh, you must think this is a hotel, son. Get the fuck in there. I remember they were mean as fuck in there, dude. And I was shackled, and then they took me off my little cuffs. And I spent the night in that jail, and that was fucking terrifying. One of the scariest nights of my life. Like I said, I'll go ahead and tell that another story another day. But this is the story of my all-day overdose and hitting my personal rock bottom. We did it! God, dude. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And if you didn't just straight up learn something, I hope you can kind of observe my story, observe me as a person and my actions and choices, and kind of use them as a deterrent to not go down this route as well. Like I said earlier, I know some of you abuse these drugs like I was. It's gonna end in death, you killing somebody, you killing yourself, or you ending up in prison. I never thought I'd spend a night in jail, but there I was. And I had none of the girls, my roommate or my girlfriend, pressed charges. So I have a misdemeanor domestic violence charge, which will probably get dropped due to it being drug induced, and then I have a real felony with the cocaine, which hopefully will get dropped because I have nothing on my record. I'm 22 and I am going to rehab. I'm just waiting on insurance. That's why I'm home now. Nothing's changed. Plan's the same. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good day, night, whenever you're watching. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, leave a like, subscribe, comment. It lets me know that you enjoyed, and it lets YouTube know that you enjoyed. It helps me out a lot. I really appreciate you. And I hope to see you in the next video. Peace. If you don't like to subscribe, you're a bitch!